Welcome to Beaded Doilies by Shell. In this video I'm continuing my faceted bead art letter squares. We will be doing the letter C. Now with the letter C, I did every other a different color, so I am going to mark every other one on my pattern to remind me I want to use different colors. Now you'll want about 3 feet of string if you're using the faceted bead 4mm faceted beads. And I'm going to use these colors for this video. White will be the background, and then the red and green will be the letter colors. Now with faceted bead art, I recommend that you start at the bottom right of the pattern. So we will add one background color, and then we'll add one to each string, to left and right. And then we will cross each string through the 4th bead. And there we have our first 4 beads. And now I'm going to take the right string and I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4 beads to it. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'll let those come down. We'll go to the first one we added and go through it in the same direction we went through the first time. And that'll give us the first 4 beads for this row. Now keeping the same string we just used, we're going to add one and then cross. So this has a line through it, so I'm going to use green. And then I'm going to cross with a background color. And there we have row 1, which is just 4 beads, and the beginning of row 2. Now we want to take the string that's on the same side as row 1. And we're going to add 1, 2, and then we're going to cross. So we need 2 background colors. And then this one does not have a line through it, so I'm going to use red, and we will cross it with both strings. And there we have finished the second row. Now we're going to take the string that's coming towards the shorter end of our row, and we're going to add 1, 2, 3, 4 beads. So we'll add a green followed by 3 background colors. Let them come down, and we'll take the first one, go through it again. And there we have the first 4 beads of this row. Now I like to keep my finished work to the right. And then I will add to the left string We've got these 4 on. Now we're going to add one and cross one. So we'll add a background color to the left string and then cross with a background color. And now here we want to go through the side bead of our previous row. We call that our connecting bead. Then we will add one and cross. They're both light or background colors, so we'll add one to the left and then cross the second one with both strings. And then we'll go through our next side bead. Then we'll add one and cross. Both are light colored or background color. So we'll add one and cross one. Now we're going to take the string that's coming towards our finished rows and we're going to add 1, 2, and cross. So we'll add 2 background colors. And we'll take both strings and cross the background color. There we finished that row. Now we take the string that's coming out the end of our row and we're going to add 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all background color. Then come down. We take the first one, go through it again. And there we have the first 4 beads of our row. Make sure our finished rows are to the right. And bring our string up. And now we're going to add one to the left and cross. And this will be a red one. So we need a background color. And we're going to cross with a red. Then we'll go through the connecting bead or side bead. Then we'll add one and cross. Both are background colors. Then we'll go through our next side bead. And we're going to add one and cross, so that will both be background colors. Remember to go through your side bead. Now we're going to add one and cross, and then we want a green and cross with a red. We'll take a green and cross with a red. Then go through our next side bead. And then we're going to add one and cross. And both our background colors. Now we've come to the last 3 beads, and we see that the next row is shorter. So what we'll do is we'll take the string that's on the same side as our finished rows. We'll add all 3 beads to it. So we'll add 1, 2, 3. Then we will go through this top bead on our row towards our finished rows. And there we have our last 3 beads. Then we want to go away from the beads we just added, and then out. And both our strings are on either side of the second side bead, so we're going to cross it with both strings. And now we are ready to begin our next row. Added these. Now you want the string that's coming towards the shorter end of your row, and you are going to add 1, 2, and then you're going to cross 1. So that's 1, 2, and you take both your strings and you cross. Turn so your finished rows are to the right, and then go through your side bead, and then you're going to add and cross. So we want a background color and cross with a red. Then we'll go through our side bead, now we're going to add one and cross, so we're going to add a green and cross with a background color. And we go through our side bead, and now we're going to add one and cross. So we're going to add a red and cross with a green. Then we'll go through our next side bead. Go. And now we're at the last 2, so we're going to add them in this order, 1, 2, and we're going to add both of them to the string that went through our connecting bead. So that's 1, 2, then we'll go through the top bead in towards our finished rows. And then we'll go down away from the beads we just added. and then back out. And then we'll take both strings and cross that second side bead there. And that finishes up that row. And now we're going to take the string that's closest to the end of our row, or the shorter side, and we're going to add 1, 2, and we're going to cross. So that would be all background colors. Then we'll go through our side bead, making sure your finished work is to the right. Bring your string up. Then you're going to add 1 and cross. Add 1 and cross. Then go through the next side bead, and with that same string that went through the side bead, we're going to add our last 2 for this row. 1, 2. So that's 1, 2. Then we go to where our other string is coming out, and we go through that bead in towards our finished rows. Then we go down away from the ones we just added, and we go back out, and our string are on either side of the second side bead. Now we have the last 3 we want to add. Now I'm going to tie inside this bead here instead of the outside bead. So what I do is I take my string, see which one is longest, then I check my piece to the pattern, and I see my string is coming out the top, so I add my last 3 beads to it in this order. So we're going to add our last 3 beads, which are all the background color. Now the reason I'm tying inside here instead of on the end is because that'll make it easier when I go to stitch the square into the cube. The knot won't get in the way. So what you want to do is, after you've added your 3, you'll make a regular knot, bring it down. Then you'll make a double overhand knot. That's where you go over twice, bring it down, but don't pull tight. Then you take the string that is closest to the inside bead and you go through it. Then you pull your knot inside the bead. Once it's in there, you can pull tight. And then we'll thread back 2 circles. So you go through a bead on each side. And then what I like to call the center bead, but it's the one you would cross with your 2 strings. And then you again go through a bead on each side. And cross the center. And I like to do this so that my string is not right where the knot is, and therefore is less chance of the knot working itself loose. And then just take the excess and you trim it off. And there you have the letter C. And I will be putting up a video to show you how to knit them all together, and I hope to see you there.